Be the Best You podcast. The sole purpose of this podcast is to teach, inspire, and motivate everyone to be the best versions of themselves. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Be the Best You podcast. I'm your host, Larry Dawson. So this is a solo episode today, but this is a very important episode today. I'm going to get a little serious with you guys, man. You saw a lighter side of me lately. I had Mixed Tarzan Julius on here recently, and really good guy. I had a great time doing the interview and everything. But, I know him on a personal level. He's hilarious in person, just like he is in the videos. I was laughing and joking a lot throughout the podcast and everything. But we are here for the purpose of enlightenment, motivation, growing, becoming the best you, inspiring. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different, man. I want to talk to everyone about what's going on in America right now with these school shootings and a lot of the divide that's in our country. Because there's extreme rights and extreme lefts on which way to go with some of these issues. And our country's divided on a lot of things. I think one thing that could make everyone come together is adversity. And we're going through adversity right now. There was just another school shooting in Tennessee the other day. And this one was by a transgender that went in and shot and killed 7 people before they were killed by the cops themselves. And it's really got me thinking about all the different things that have, caused problems in America the last several years, the fighting between us and everything, whether it's about politics, blue versus red, whether it's about take the shot or don't take the shot, or what you felt about the COVID situation, the race tensions in America, the Black Lives Matter movement, the protests, these school shootings, these abortion rules that have come into effect, these laws and rules dealing with people that identify as a different gender going into that gender's bathroom causing issues. There's a lot of different things, man, and now there's a lot of arguing going on over finances because the economy's a little wacky. There needs to be some healing in this country, and there needs to be some peace in this country, and it's going to take all of us doing that. But it's really going to take us being on the same team. I remember when 9/11 happened, it was like the entire country just rallied together as one. Race didn't matter, sexuality didn't matter, religion didn't matter, where you were from didn't matter. It was, we're America and we're not going for this. And we mourned and grieved together. We were in shock and complete disbelief together. We rallied back and had each other's back as one people. We need to get back to that. And I don't know how many of these school shootings or how many of these tragic events need to happen for us to be woken up for real. There's this saying going around, this movement going around, this woke movement, which, no offense, is a bunch of BS. Because you know what we need to be woke to? We need to be woke to what's going on in America, what's really going on, and this type of stuff. And we need to wake up, and we need to have some humanity. There needs to be humanity back in our hearts and our minds again, man. There needs to be love back in our hearts and minds again. There needs to be growing and forgiveness and love back in our hearts and our minds again, man. We've gotten so far away from it that there's no middle ground with anything anymore. It's you're either way over here or way over there, and nobody wants to hear each other's sides, and everyone wants to fight and argue constantly. If you don't believe this, then you're that. If you don't believe that, then you're this. But it's not like that, man. Someone can have a couple opinions on this side and a couple opinions on that side. It doesn't mean you have to hate them or cut them off or fight with them. That means they're a human being and they're different than you. We're all different. None of us are the same. If we all were the same, then people that are out there fighting for these rights to be considered a furry, or a man that wants to be called a woman, or a woman that wants to be called a man, or rights of Jewish people or black people or Asian people, what are we fighting for that for if we don't understand that we're all human beings, we're all individuals, we're all special, but made up together we can be great. There's a saying, divide and conquer, and man, they are dividing and conquering like no other time. And here on my podcast, I have a platform to speak out. A lot of people don't have it. Well, I guess that's not true, because anyone can get on Twitter and type something out. I guess it's a little bit different seeing me or hearing my voice. I want to speak from a place of compassion and love and understanding, but also from a very serious place of sometimes, man, just enough is enough. And enough is enough with this foolishness. Today I was talking to a friend of mine. He is a truck driver for Amazon. And he was telling me about furries. And I was like, what? And furries are people that consider themselves animals. And the name of their group is furries. So someone decides they want to be a squirrel, that's what they are. Man, let me tell you something. That is what's wrong with this country. And this is why we're going through the type of stuff we're going through. And this is why we've become a joke. I'm all up for respecting people's rights and ideas and opinions and stuff. But we have literally gone off our damn rockers. If you think that it's okay to go around and telling people you can be a furry, you can be a squirrel, you can be a cat, a dog, a mouse, whatever, that's not reality. I'm just being honest with you. If you're a man, you decide that you want to be with other men, that's fine. You can be with another man. Nobody can stop you from doing that. That's reality. What is not reality is you thinking that you're a squirrel. I don't care how hard you think you're a squirrel, you're not a damn squirrel. You're not a damn furry. They actually need a little bit of help. And we need some damn help for allowing this. This should not be allowed. This is insane. We are going to have to get back to some basics. My grandfather used to always have this saying, man. He said, when stuff gets out of control and stuff starts to go haywire, take everything back to the basics. Start get everything back to the basics, get everything lined up, and then go forward from there. That's what we need to do as a country, as people, for healing. We need to get back to the basics. We don't need one side saying, okay, well, we'll let guys that still have a penis in between their legs go in the woman's bathroom, and the other side saying, all right, well, we'll propose the death penalty for people that have an abortion. Both of you need to sit the fuck down. It's ridiculous. Both sides. And use your damn heads. Taking someone's life because they have an abortion with no exceptions. This person could have been raped. You letting grown men that have penises in the bathroom with women. My daughter's 9 years old. I better not ever catch that. Ever. It's unacceptable. We need to be smarter. We need to be better. We need to do better. And there needs to be a common ground. And if the common ground on things is, I'm not a politician, but if, as an outside person looking at it saying, all right, well, why would you not give these people permission to do with their bodies they want for the first trimester, the first 3 months of their pregnancy, and then if they go past that, then maybe a penalty be applied to the situation, or we stop it. Whatever the medium ground is that you guys come up with. On the other side, if you've made a full transition and you no longer have that particular private part, then yes, you can go in the women's bathroom. But as long as you are still a grown man with a dick between your legs, but you say you identify as a woman, I'm sorry, man. Until you make that transition, you're going to have to go to the men's room. And you can get offended on that all you want, man. Life is tough and we're going to get offended our whole lives. But what I'm not going to do, and I don't think that most people are going to do, is sit by and let you walk around with that out in front of my 9-year-old daughter or whoever else's daughter or wife or sister or mother's out there. There just has to be some common sense. There has to be some middle ground. And it's crazy to me as someone that back in the 80s and 90s when people were really rough on gay people. It wasn't as open and as easy as it is now. And I remember, like, I got picked on really bad as a kid until my grandfather started training me to box, and I became a Golden Gloves junior national champion at 14 years old. And I started to, nerdy kids and gay kids that went to school, they got picked on a lot back then. I started sticking up for them and protecting them, and developed a few gay friends, and throughout life I've kept gay friends and have several now. And to me, they're no different than anyone else. The only difference is what they do in the bedroom compared to what I do in the bedroom is different. But that's none of my business, just like what I do in my bedroom is none of their business. I find it super offensive as someone that has spent the majority of their entire life defending other people, races, religion, sexuality, and been very open-minded, that now that if I don't agree with any ludicrous idea that's thrown out there, that I'm a homophobic. First of all, I'm not scared of shit. So that throws your homophobic out the window. But I find it crazy that as someone that has supported that community, stood up for them, has friends right now that are gay, don't have any of these issues with them. But these other people that are telling me that if I don't agree with this, that I'm a homophobic and I'm a problem. No, I'm not. The fact that you're reaching for the moon and the stars and every other planet in the galaxy is the problem. That's not reality. None of us have everything handed to us, and everything's not always going to go our way. And some of these ideas are ludicrous. One of the things that is going on right now is this massive fight between gun control. Because you have one side saying gun control and you have one side saying no gun control, and we have this tug of war, but we continue to have these shootings. Let me tell you something, man. A bad person took a rock and killed Abel. A good person took a rock and killed Goliath. A good person or a bad person can have a gun. A gun's not killing people. People are killing people. There's a mental health crisis in America, and we're not doing anything about it. We're fighting about gun control. Look this up. The United States of America has more guns on the street than all the other countries in the world combined. So even if you banned it now, there's so many guns out there, you can't stop what's out there. Even if you start to round them up, trust and believe they're going to leak them out. They get guns, they get drugs on the street. You don't think they're going to get more guns on the street? Even if you change the rules, the guns are still going to be out there. And someone can take a car and run through a parade like they did last year and kill a bunch of people. Someone can take some bombs and set them out by a marathon like the Boston Bombers did and kill a lot of people. Someone can take a knife like they did at the campus where they killed the 4 college students and stabbed them to death with knives. If someone wants to kill, they're going to find a way, whether it's with that car or with that bomb or with that knife or with guns. There has been too many. When I say too many, that doesn't even begin to describe. Too fucking many school shootings. This is the Be the Best You podcast, and this is some real stuff I'm giving you right now. We have to do better. There has been too many school shootings, period. Every single school in America, private or public, should have metal detectors in them. You should not be able to walk into any school in America these days without a metal detector. Yeah, that might be sad that we've come to that, but guess what? That's what we've come to. Those are the type of answers. Those are the type of solutions we need to be doing. No one should be going into a school and shooting it up because they were able to walk through doors or shoot their way through doors or kick their way through doors. There should be metal detectors and there should be an officer on site. Let me ask you guys a question. When you go to work, when you work a job to make money, you get taxes taken out, right? Okay? So when you go to spend that dollar at the store, pay taxes on what you buy, right? Buy a house or a car, pay taxes on that. And then you pay yearly taxes on that too, right? Or if you rent those out, you'll pay taxes on that too. Oh, and at the end of the year, you'll pay more taxes on the money that you made total for the year too. All that tax money, we buy all this frivolous stuff, we help all these other countries out, we do all this other stuff, but we can't put metal detectors in our schools? We can't have enough common sense to do that? We can't come to a middle ground and figure out that that's the smartest thing to do, that people shouldn't just be walking in schools anymore, that it's been proven that that is ineffective? That needs to be addressed. There needs to be metal detectors in schools, and there needs to be at least one armed, trained police officer at every school. We have military guys that have been serving in the military or coming home, having a hard time transitioning, finding jobs. Put these military men in these schools. Give these military men that are trained for combat, give them the green light to have a job, to sit in a school, to protect kids throughout the day. That way if someone comes in there to attack these kids, you have someone that is trained for combat to protect the kids. There's a lot more answers we could come up with. I just gave you one. I just gave you a couple solutions to a few things. We as people need to come together and do that. Find middle grounds, solutions to stop some of this stuff. Do I feel like people should be having assault rifles? No, I'm not agreeing with that. But I'm saying that they're already there. It's like saying we don't want drugs in America anymore, we're going to remove all the drugs. Good luck with that. It's not going to happen. If you say you don't want guns in the streets anymore, I'm sorry, man, there's just too many, and they're going to keep leaking them into the streets. You're not going to get rid of them. But what we can do is we can put precautions and safety measures in place to protect people from situations like this. The mental health crisis in America is crazy. And it's starting at home and how we raise these kids, man. We have to stop baiting and pacifying these kids. We have to stop with this participation bullshit ass trophy stuff. We have to stop letting kids pick genders in elementary school. I want to ask everyone out there listening to this. You're letting your kids pick their gender in elementary school? First of all, why are they even thinking or talking about sex, for one? And two, why would you let someone make a decision at an asinine age of being in elementary school? So what, you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old? How many of you out there made decisions at 8 do you regret it? How many of you made decisions at 15 that you regretted? How many of you made decisions at 21 that you regretted? How about we let these kids develop a little bit? Go through school, go through sexual education, develop a little bit in life, and then let them make decisions. Man, listen, there's nothing wrong with being open-minded, having a free spirit, showing love, but we also have to be parents. There's a responsibility to guide, to teach, to love, to raise. And letting your 5-year-old pick its sexuality isn't that. Your 5-year-old is not capable of picking out their sexuality because their brain isn't fully developed. They don't even know what food they like at 5 years old. This participation trophy where everybody gets a reward for showing up is bullshit. We're teaching these kids no responsibility, no discipline, we're not showing them what it's like to win, to fight, to earn something, or to lose. We have to get back to that. Because if you're told yes all the time, yes, you can pick your sexuality, yes, you can get a trophy, yes, you can do this, and they're never hearing no, they're never getting any discipline, and then we send them to school and the teacher tells them no, and they get mad and they take a gun to school and they shoot the school up, or when they try to talk to a guy or a girl, classmate, and they tell them no and they go and shoot up the school, or these jobs because they get fired from a job. We are creating weak, broke down men as well. I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, and I said to them, what is the #1 form of resistance to all the stuff that's being pushed on us right now? The number one form of resistance to everything that's being pushed on us right now is a strong, dominant man that will not go for this stuff and will stand up and be like, no. But what we are doing now is we are creating broken, confused, unstable men that are weak, and we're producing them by the droves and sending them into society. And when you send broken, confused, hurt, men into society, there is no resistance, because they're not going to put up any resistance. You've broken them. You've neutered them. You've declawed them. You've made them ashamed to be a man. And you took what was the number one form of resistance to this bullshit that's being pushed on us, and you've devalued them and you've weakened them, so you've taken away the number one threat. This stuff isn't by accident. This stuff is designed. You take a strong man and put him in these situations, and he's going to say no. You take a broken, confused, weak, declawed man and put him in a situation like this, and he's going to roll over. We need some tough, stoic, real good men to put it into this. And ladies, I'm not shortchanging y'all when I say this. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I am a man. And because I am disgusted with the way that I see men are these days. These over-emotional, emotionally immature, emotionally broken, confused men that have been made to feel ashamed of being men. We have taken the roles of men and women and flipped them upside down, and then we talk shit about why men are the way they are these days and why women are the way they are these days. Because society has done that. We watch the bullshit that's on TV, that's on the radio, that's on social media, and is being taught to us, and we flip the roles, and then everyone talks junk about it. But yet you watched it, participated, and then allowed it to happen. Man, I'm coming off strong today, but I'm coming from a really deep and real place. I'm coming from someone, I have very strong opinions and thoughts on a lot of this, but I am willing to meet on the middle, because in the middle is where we're going to find common ground, and is where we're going to do better as people. And if America's ever going to thrive again, and if we're ever going to be what we used to be, then that's what we're going to have to do. We need to get the guy that's in charge out now, and not to let the one that was in charge before back either. We need to let the two grumpy old men, two confused old men go, and get some new fresh blood up in there and hit reset on this thing. And that's very serious. Out with the old, in with the new. There has to be change, man. There has to be change in our mind. There has to be change in our heart. There has to be change with our spirit, our energy. There has to be change in this country. There has to be change with the people. We have to come together and fix this. Enough of our kids getting shot and killed, man. You know, it was a transgender that went into the school that did this shooting, but, you know, there's been plenty of straight men and women that have made that same decision to do that. But I think there's one common thread amongst all of them, whether they were younger or older, whether they were boys or girls, or whether they were transgenders, whether they were black or white, whatever. Mentally unstable. Because there's a mental illness crisis in America. It is the number one problem, and we're not addressing it. And that's what we should be addressing. And whatever you thought about COVID has definitely made it worse. Because as bad as stuff was bubbling at the surface before, it has exploded since. It's like it brought the real ugliness out in everybody. And we need to address what's going on with people's psyches and why the government will give away free shots but won't give away help to people out there that are struggling mentally. and let situations like this continue to happen over and over and over again. Just like you let someone go get in line and go get free shots from these companies. Not only did you give them free shots, you mandated these companies have a 100% compliance rule, or you would fire them from their jobs if they didn't get it. How about you mandatory make everybody get a psych evaluation? And if you don't pass, you have to get some psych help. How about we take some real steps to get some real healing and some real understanding? Some people might not like my take, some people might not like my opinions on stuff. That's fine, I'm not here for everybody to like. But I am here to help everybody. For me to be the best me, or for you to be the best you, or for us to be the best us, we have to stop this and we have to come together. No more school shootings, man. Let's do whatever it takes to make sure this doesn't happen again. The things I talked about, the furries, the ridiculous shit like that, we have to come to our senses as people, as a country, and stop this. No one should be walking through work at Amazon with a tail taped to their butt, walking around with a tail. It's fake, it's not real. So let's stop it. Let's get our heads on straight. Let's get focused. Let's get back to basics. Let's work on being the best us and the best country that we can. This is definitely a different tone and side of me than you usually see, but, you know, in my house, I currently have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. I also have 2 older kids. These school shootings, man, and seeing these kids get shot is ridiculous. The school that my kids go to, about 3 weeks ago, a kid had a loaded Glock 9 on the bus. Wasn't on my kid's bus, but it was in their school zone area. And it had an extended bag on it, and he was pulling it out, pointing people and playing people. Thank God nobody got shot. And that situation I handled. It was a 6-year-old with that gun. Why did that 6-year-old know how to use that gun? And why did that 6-year-old have access to that gun? Insane. We as parents have to do better. The onus falls on us a lot. We want to blame everybody else, and we want to talk about what everybody else is doing. But we don't want to blame ourselves, we don't want to take responsibility, and we don't want to put in the work to do better. I'm challenging everybody. I'm challenging everybody. Put the work in, do better, be a better parent, be a better person, supervise better, teach your kids the right stuff. Let your kids be kids. Let your kids fall down and learn about life. Let them bust their elbow. Let them get told no. Let them lose an event. Let them grow. Let them become better people. Let them become men and women. Man, get this video out there, man. Share this video. Leave a comment, man. Like it. Subscribe, man. Get this video out there. Let people hear it, man. We got to come together as people, man. Share this video if you're watching or listening to this video, man. This is the Be the Best You podcast, and that's what we need to focus on, being the best us. Alright, I'm not going to ramble on and dig any deeper on this. I spoke from my heart. I spoke from my mind. I gave you everything that I have from my energy about this situation. Let's fix this, man, as a team. Let's do better. This has been another episode of the Be the Best You podcast. Until next time, try until you fly.